Baseline happiness. It's actually what it sounds like. The factors or variables in your life that gives you basic happiness. Now, this is an extremely simplified explanation of it. But if we look at a concept called Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we can identify what makes our lives satisfying, fulfilling, but also meaningful. At the bottom of it, it's food, shelter, social life. At the top is spiritual enlightenment, and so on. Purposeful, meaningful work is higher up in the ranking, so to speak. And baseline happiness for many people is you have food, you have shelter, you have water, and you have a social life. I think these are the four key concepts of basically human existence. The reality of it is, even though we share, despite where you come from, whatever religion you choose to practice, even if you were born yesterday or you're 80 years old, doesn't really matter. All humans share these four key things. Now, there can be some exceptions, monks, for example, they, sometimes choose to isolate themselves. But that's the exception, not the rule. And I think that the exception sometimes confirms the rules or confirms the reality of it. And for me personally, baseline happiness is I have to do work or I have to do stuff that fulfills a problem solving need in my head. And what do I mean by that? I love to read books. I love to do coding exercises. For example, I love to program in Python. That's a very good exercise for my brain, and I feel fulfilled when I do that. That's my baseline happiness, is me engaging my brain in some sort of logical problem solving exercise. Now, for you, perhaps you love to paint. You don't like to engage that much with logical thinking, logical problem solving. You love to do more of a painting or some other creative artwork. I don't know, you love to clean. You love to clean. That could be your baseline happiness. And baseline happiness isn't necessarily a path towards enlightenment. A lot of people live happy, fulfilled lives despite them not being on the path towards enlightenment. And that's kind of interesting. Even though enlightenment gives us the truth in some sense, it isn't the meaning of life in it of itself. The truth isn't the meaning of life, right? Isn't that peculiar? The truth isn't the meaning of life. Now have this concept in your mind for a moment. Because in the end of it, we all die, we all get born. And during this time, we want food, we want shelter, we want water and social life. But people are different, right? Some people have ADHD, some people are schizophrenic, some people are neurotypical. So certain things make our lives more fulfilled than others, of course. So the baseline happiness is thus different. I do not get enlightened because I read a book. No, I get a baseline happiness from it. So if you're struggling to be happy, not certainly fulfilled, not in this case fulfilled, I mean, say perhaps you're not on your purpose right now, or you actually don't care that much of fulfilling a certain purpose or striving towards this huge goal, right? Like Elon Musk, he wants to send our race, the human race, to Mars. That's his goal. That's his purpose. But some people just enjoy living, working 9 to 5 and relaxing on the weekends with their kids. That's what they want to do, and that's their baseline happiness. And in some sense, that's fulfilling for them, but they do not think in the concept of fulfilling exercise or fulfilling work or stuff like that. They're simply just going through the motions in some way, yes, but at the same time, they're fully engaged with their baseline happiness. And at the end of the life, so to speak, at the end of the life, at the end of your life, and you feel this baseline happiness, and yeah, I did a lot of stuff, I tried a lot of new things, I can actually die with happiness. Yes, I didn't get this spiritual enlightenment or whatever, or I didn't send humanity to Mars or to the moon, but that's okay. Now, you can focus on these higher spiritual goals, but if we forget the basics, we can become blindsided. That's a common theme among entrepreneurs, is they're so focused on achieving goals, getting the money, but they're miserable. You know, they're so focused on the money that they forget their morals or their ethics. And in the end, it lashes back at them, because they forget what their baseline happiness was. Yes, they had no money, they had shelter, food, water, social life, sex, they had a partner, they had a comfortable life, but they forget that certain things in their lives that would actually give them more baseline happiness. But they discarded these things because of whatever, really, this high goal of theirs, so to speak. So finding your baseline happiness activities is crucial for a not fulfilling life, but a happy life. And paradoxically enough, a fulfilling life. Personally, as I've said, my baseline happiness, what contributes to my baseline happiness, is reading books and exercising a lot. And of course, spending time with my family, but more of a, how do you say it? My dopaminergic alignment, as I've spoken in the previous videos. I need to engage in activities that are within my dopaminergic alignment to feel this baseline happiness. I need to exert myself physically and challenge myself physically in order to feel the baseline happiness. And other people do not have this need. I do. So how can we be practical? Because in my videos, I try to not be so theoretical and ambiguous with my teachings, but I want to also give you some practical tools. And of course, one practical tool is journaling. Journal down your things that provides you with baseline happiness. You can make a list. Or you can make a video like I'm doing right now. This is part of my baseline happiness. I love making these videos. And making these videos doesn't really provide me with a path towards a higher goal. I just do it for the sake of doing. If I was really serious, I will pour tons of money towards this. I will buy fancy new camera, editing equipment, and new computer to render my videos and spend a lot of money on ads, but I don't do that. Not right now. I simply do things that provides me with baseline happiness. And of course, I want to achieve enlightenment. That's why I'm studying these spiritual texts. But that's for me secondary, because these steps are in a pyramid building, if you can visualize it like that. Your ideas, your happiness is, as I've previously shown, the Maslow hierarchy of needs is a pyramid, it's a building. And what's on top of the building, the roof, cannot stand on itself. A roof cannot stand on itself, otherwise it will just fall down. You can just put something in the air and expect it to stay there. That's basic physics, gravity. Everything that's up here will fall down. Unless, of course, it's standing on something. And the walls are purpose, and the fundament is your baseline happiness. You can start there if you really don't know what you need to do with your life, or I don't know, you already know what you're supposed to do. You're already doing the work that you love. And you need to perhaps take a step back and look at your baseline happiness once again. Am I doing these small little activities that provides me with baseline happiness? Am I really doing that, or am I disregarding it? So look within yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video. I did. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification as well. And as always, stay great.